All right, guys, I'm going to use this current Colombia tariff scandal to explain to you guys how tariffs actually work if you do it the right way. Now, a lot of you probably don't know that pre-World War II, there was really no federal income tax. Tariffs paid everything in the federal government, and people didn't pay income tax. So it kind of evened out. Now, Trump floated the idea of using tariffs to get rid of the federal income tax, but a lot of people are complaining about the threat that Trump made to Colombia because they wouldn't take back their illegal immigrants. Well, he said that I'm going to slap a 25% tariff on. Now, you guys are all right when you say that that's a tax on us, because it is a tax on us, because they're going to bump the price up 25% from Colombia. Now, the reason you do that is what comes from Colombia? Oh, they get like 20% of the world's coffee comes from there. Roses, which just so happens it's coming up on Valentine's Day, and 5% of our oil that we buy comes from Colombia. That's really it. So now, do we really need their 5% of the oil? No, we're buying that shit just to throw them a bone because we could legitimately pump our own oil, which we're going to start doing. But hear me out. If you go to the grocery store and you want to buy some coffee and you want to buy 100% Colombian, you're going to pay a 25% tariff. But the great thing is, there are so many other countries in the world that produce even more coffee than Colombia. You know, down south, you got Brazil, Venezuela, they all produce it. It comes from Africa, even Middle East. That's where coffee came from, the Middle East. Why do you think they call it an Arabica bean? So now, if Colombia didn't want to take back their illegal immigrants, Trump would slap that tariff on coffee, roses, oil. And what happens when you go to the grocery store? Are you going to pay an extra 25% for a bag of 100% Colombian? Or are you just going to buy another bag? There's other options. Same thing like roses. Shit. If the price of roses goes up, Valentine's Day coming, maybe you go to a local shop instead of the grocery store. Maybe you buy her flowers that aren't roses. Shit. Maybe you just go buy those fucking crystal roses. You know, the ones that are all crystal and they have the gold swirled on them. You don't need roses. And oil, we can get oil anywhere. So basically what happens is nobody buys that shit because it's too expensive. And then Colombia goes broke. And somebody else who wants to follow our rules gets paid. And there's absolutely no ding into our pocketbook unless you demand that you have to drink Colombian coffee or you have to have Colombian roses. But now, here's where I do agree with you guys a little bit. Your corporate overlords, you know, Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks, if the price of Colombian coffee goes up, you better goddamn well believe that Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts are going to raise their prices whether or not they're using Colombian coffee. Because who's going to know? Only the people that buy the coffee. Now imagine we do this, we'll use John Deere. You know, people were complaining that Trump said he was going to put a 50% tariff on John Deere tractors. And they're, oh no, farmers aren't going to be able to afford tractors. Well, you know what? Let's see here. Tractor manufacturers in the United States. Okay, you got AGCO, CNH, John Deere, Kubota, Class. Those are just the big ones. Now, if John Deere moves their production facility to Mexico and Trump slaps a 50% tariff on all John Deere tractors made in Mexico, the price is going to double. You're talking, what, $250,000, $500,000 for a big combine or some shit like that? The price doubles. That's going to be $1 million now. You think the John Deere guy is going to buy a fucking bright because he wants that green tractor? Hell no. He's going to go buy a fucking orange Kubota for $150,000. It might not do the job as well as John Deere, but it's going to be fucking ridiculously cheaper. And who loses? John Deere. But does John Deere really lose? Because all of their production's in Mexico. They're not going to be firing any American workers. They still have American plants. They're still going to be making American things, but only the tractors that come from Mexico. Now, if John Deere doesn't want to suffer, then John Deere keeps the jobs here. Not only that, but if we want to talk about just taxing, let's say we want to tax Chinese goods in general, I find it to be absolutely ridiculous that we can send our garbage across the ocean and have China process it and send it back here. Like I'm talking about our steel. We send all of our scraps metals over to China, Japan, all that shit. They process it and they turn it into cheap junk, and then they ship it back over here, and somehow that's cheaper than making it American because it's fucking garbage. Now, let's say we put a 20% tariff on everything that comes from China. It's no longer cheaper to send our scrap iron over there, to have them make cheap crap and send it over here, and American goods become cheaper than cheap Chinese crap, and they're actually quality goods. So now you're going to have a demand for American goods, and companies are going to be like, holy shit, it's too expensive to export over to China. So how about we build a nice big manufacturing facility right here in Anytown, USA, and we're going to put up 1,500 jobs. And then what happens to those people, those 1,500 jobs? Ooh, they're making $20 an hour. That means they're paying what? $8,000-9,000 a year federal income tax? 1,000 people times $8,000? What is that? How many zeros is that? $8 million federal income tax right there. Because we have American workers. And then those American workers are going to have extra money. They're going to go to Walmart and they're going to buy even more American goods. I mean, we have a tech place. It's called Silicon Valley. They didn't build it for shit. Why can't we make cell phones and TVs in this country? Why can't we make the components for our green technology? I mean, our power grid is reliant on microchips and weird electric shit that was made in China and sent over here. You mean to tell me that China ain't be able to backdoor into that and shut it all down one day if they wanted to? I'm not xenophobic, but I'm just saying we need to take care of America first. We need to give Americans jobs. We need to have Americans make money. And then if we choose to buy crap on Temu, that's our business. But if you do it the right way, tariffs are a good thing.